What's up, y'all? Just wanted to make a video, talk about a couple things. A lot of y'all already know last year on September 23rd, 2017, there was an alignment in the stars, in the sun, moon, and stars, out of Revelation, people call it the Revelation 12 sign. I'm going to read Revelation 12, 1 and 2. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. And she was with child, and she cried out, being in labor and in pain to give birth. Now that alignment occurred, the only woman that could be is constellation Virgo. The end of November 2016, Jupiter, which is known as the king planet, entered into Virgo, and for a little over 9 months just went back and forth in the womb area of the constellation Virgo. And actually before the alignment, it came out, which is interesting because Isaiah says, Isaiah 66:7, I believe, says, before she travailed, she gave birth. But anyway, on September 23rd of last year, the sun was at the shoulder of Virgo, the moon at her feet, and there's already 9 stars above the head of Virgo in the constellation Leo, I believe. But on that day, when the moon was at her feet and the sun was at her shoulder, three planets lined up perfectly to form a crown of 12 stars. Now, since then, a lot of people have been paying attention to where Jupiter's going. So Jupiter came out of Virgo around September 10th or 11th of 2017, around 2 weeks before the sign. And it's traveling down past Virgo, and on November 27th, 26th, 27th of this year, is gonna go right into the claw of the constellation Scorpio. And on the 27th, there's an alignment with the sun comes and covers Jupiter and Mercury from the other side, and they all converge on the 27th of this month, November 27th, 2018. And what's interesting is 430 days after the Revelation 12 sign on September 23rd of last year, Abraham was told, look up at the sky, look at the stars, your descendants will be as the stars of heaven. And he was told, your descendants will be in bondage in a foreign nation for 430 years. And there's a few other times that 430 is mentioned in Scripture. So that's really interesting. And something else, 4 days before September 23rd of last year, September 19th of last year, was the Feast of Trumpets, one of God's holy days. And if you go from the Feast of Trumpets to that day, it's 434 days, which is 62 weeks. And there's another prophecy about 62 weeks. I'm going to read that. I'm going to start here. Daniel 9 verse 24. 70 weeks have been decreed for your people and your holy city, to finish their transgression, to make an end of sin, to make atonement for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy place. So you are to know and discern that from the issuing of a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there will be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. It will be built again with plaza and moat, even in times of distress. Now the next part is what's interesting, but I'm going to go into what I just read. If you take the 7 weeks and 62 weeks, a lot of the time in prophecy, you switch weeks with years or days, and different stuff lines up. There's multiple fulfillments of different prophecies. So from the decree of I believe it's Artaxerxes in like 457 BC, 69 weeks, 7 weeks and 62 weeks, 69 weeks of years is 483 years. And that takes you right up to the time of Jesus. And also, in, I don't remember the exact year, 1535 or something, the Ottoman Empire rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. You take 483 years. On top of that, it comes to 2017. Now I'm going to read this next part. I was just reading this tonight. Once I realized it's exactly 62 weeks from the Feast of Trumpets last year, September 19th, 2017, exactly 62 weeks to this next alignment where Jupiter goes into the claw of Scorpio, and there's a conjunction with the Sun and Mercury at the same time, and also being 430 days from the September 23rd sign. Being 62 weeks exactly from the Feast of Trumpets last year. Now let me read Daniel 9:26 and the rest of this. Then after the 62 weeks, the anointed will be cut off and have nothing. And the people of the prince who is to come, in this case, if this is a part of prophecy, what I'm seeing right here, it would be the Antichrist. The anointed would be cut off, maybe rapture. And the people of the prince who is to come will destroy the city and the sanctuary. The abomination and desolation, maybe. And its end will come with the flood. Even to the end there will be war. Desolations are determined. And he will make a firm covenant with the many for 1 week. This is after the 62 weeks. So could this peace deal between Palestine in Jerusalem happen in a couple weeks on November 27th of this year. And he will make a covenant with the many for 1 week. But in the middle of the week, he will put a stop to the sacrifice and grain offering. And that last week is the end of the 70 weeks. The last week of years. Last 7 years. Which Jesus said will be cut short. But in the middle of the week, he will put a stop to the sacrifice and grain offering. And on the wing of abominations will come one who makes desolate, even till the complete destruction. One that is decreed is poured out on the one who makes desolate. So this could be nothing. I just find this really interesting that there's this alignment right as Jupiter, which represents the church, represents Jesus, and also the church, the bride of Christ, the real church, is going right into the claw of Scorpion, which can also represent Satan. And Mercury and the Sun align with it on September 23rd, right in the claw. On November 27th, 2018, right in the claw. And it just happens to be 430 days after the September 23rd sign of last year, and 62 weeks after the Feast of Trumpets of last year. I just found that really interesting. I'm going to make a video coming up about Mystery Babylon, which I'm 99% sure is the United States. The Mystery Babylon, when all this goes down, and the dividing up of the land of Israel, dividing up of Jerusalem, is what will bring everything down. What will cause everything to happen. That's when the great earthquake's going to happen. That's what's going to cause everything to go down. Israel's going to be attacked. Jesus is going to come on the clouds. Going to appear when he actually comes back. It's at the end of the tribulation for war, but he's going to appear. It's going to be fire, brimstone, coals of fire, hail, 100-pound hailstones. Greatest earthquake in human history. The whole world is going to shake. Every wall is going to fall to the ground. At the same time, Mystery Babylon is going to be destroyed, wiped off the map, everyone killed. And when speaking of Mystery Babylon, is someone who comes from the north, like trouble coming from the north. I believe that's Russia. I don't know if you guys have seen anything that's going on between Russia and the U.S. right now. They've already threatened last year with they have a nuke that can spread out into different parts across 100 miles, like a couple hundred miles apart with the different parts. And they made a video, Putin made a video showing it hitting Florida. And one of the Russian, someone in the Russian military just mentioned the other day that if they nuked Yellowstone, it would be the end of America altogether. Think about it. Get right with God.